What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another History Teacher Reacts video. Mr. Terry, as I continue my search for historical knowledge found here on the internet. All right, so we're headed back to epic rap battles of history. So there's still a bunch of matchups that I have not seen yet. So what I did for this week's Patreon poll is put up a couple of the videos that our awesome patron supporters wanted to see, and they voted on this one. And it is Stephen King versus Edgar Allan Poe. All right, so you can tell they're trying to get horror writers sort of together there. We got more of a classical one and more of a modern one. Be interesting to see what they use as ammunition against each other. You might know Edgar Allan Poe was definitely a weirdo, especially by modern standards. I think, didn't he marry his like 13-year-old cousin when he was like a full-fledged adult and whatever. But nevertheless, I'm sure, I guarantee the Stephen King character is going to attack him for that. But I'm excited to see what else they can do, because both of these people are very important in history of literature, especially American literature. And so there is historical value here. But hopefully, again, we see the great puns, and hopefully we can learn a little bit, too. I always love that when I can be like, hey, I don't understand what that is, so I can go back and look at it. All right, the original video link is down below. Make sure you support ERB. They're awesome. They support what I do over here. Give their video a like, thumbs up, and all that stuff. And definitely sub to my channel. I know there's a lot of you that haven't hit that sub button, and I hope to see more of you. So hit that sub button, enable notifications, and, well, I think it's time to get started. Let's do it. Epic rap battles of history. Spoopy.
Stephen King.
Okay. Oh, what's his name? I know this. I'm the actor. He's in all the quirky Wes Anderson movies, right? Shoot, correct me if I'm wrong.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Who's that? I don't know him. So they didn't do Epic Lloyd and or you know the main guys, but yeah. That's cool. I like when they bring in other people.
Once upon a midnight dreary, as I spit this weak and weary, I will choke this joker with a trochee till his cheeks are teary.
Okay, I don't know what trochee means. I'll have to see that. That line is Introduction to the Raven, which is probably, to be honest, probably the only thing that people know from Edgar Allan Poe is the Raven. Great line, though.
This weak and weary, I will choke this joker with a trochee till his cheeks are teary.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
But y'all don't hear
Let me know what trochee is.
me, all should fear me. I'll forever be better, you'll never be near me. Your books are as eerie as Beverly Cleary. You're a full
Okay, I don't know what that is either.
Stoker, so
Okay, Bram Stoker, okay.
scram the shows near me. Your books are as eerie as Beverly Cleary. You're a full Bram Stoker, so scram the show's over. Your flow so pose poems poser.
Okay. Bram Stoker is the writer of Dracula. So probably the most famous, I guess you would say, horror style genre book. But yeah, Bram Stoker is the one who wrote that.
I wrote him locked in a cave while I sobbed in a rage. The telltale heart beats soft in his grave. Well, this jerk just beats off on a page. You wanna talk shop?
All right, so we'll get to the get to the Stephen King part. So Telltale Heart, that one's interesting. That's the one with the heart, right, that beats under the floor. Represents, I think, some guilt, right, from something that person had done in the past. And that's one of the cool things, though, about Edgar Allan Poe is it's psychological. Like, it's all his stuff is psychological, which, like, for me, like for horror movies, that stuff is way more unsettling to me and lasts with me longer. Like slasher films, like the suspense ones, those aren't really scary to me, at least not long lasting. They are in the moment, but the ones that make you think later, that's the cool stuff. And that's one thing that's cool about Edgar Allan Poe, even if it is kind of dated. All right, what do we got?
I sobbed in a rage. The telltale heart beats soft in his grave. Well, this jerk just beats off on a page.
You wanna talk shop? You got that fun? Go back to Hot Topic and shop for a time. It's a melancholy alcoholic laughing stock. In the King's Den, I watch the castle rise. Pouty little Poe with an opiate affliction. I'm a workaholic with a fiction addiction. Making dedicated reader shivery and jittery. Feel that rage and misery. You better start running, man. You're in deep poo, Poe. I'm a mad dog. Bank shining. Cujo. Tell me knock you down till you can't stand up. You're as soft as Poe, the Kung Fu Panda. Racks on racks cause I pen fat stacks of frightening writing. Have you seen the pile? I can even take a break from my routine style. Crank at a Shawshank or a Green Mile.
Ah, okay. He's going long. I wanted to let this one roll longer because I'm not sure if you guys want me to interject more or wait for like the whole things to be done. There's pros and cons to that. I mean, a pro for me stop all the time is I can try to let you know what I think of certain things, or if I know what it is, explain it. But then I also feel like then it breaks up the flow necessarily. I assume you've all seen these, right, before you come to me for the most part. And watching the whole thing can be good too because it keeps the flow. But then I forget what's all in all this stuff. I mean, there was a lot of things that he threw up there with that. But of course, they go after his own, or King going after Edgar Allan Poe's things with his mental health issues, his alcoholism. You saw that going on, and then throwing down. There's a bunch of puns with his writings because not a lot of people actually know with Stephen King. Some of his most famous stuff is not the horror stuff. Shawshank Redemption, one of my favorite movies ever, and one of the seen as a masterpiece of filmmaking. Was a Stephen King thing, and it wasn't plastered all over, and it wasn't like a horror thing. And the same with The Green Mile, which has also been seen as one of the greatest, film adaptations of a book, but one of the greatest films also. So Stephen King was very well versed. It wasn't just horror genre, and again, some of his most famous stuff is not really horror.
Right.
Anyway.
Have you seen the pie? I could even take a break from my
Sure
routine
written a lot,
style.
though.
Drink at a Shawshank or a Green Mile.
So yeah, that's what we're talking
Deadly
about.
blood curdling, hitting the pendulum. Not even unnerving. Nerving on your first cousin
Hitting
when
the
she's
pendulum, I forgot
13
about
years old. Now that's disturbing.
Yeah, that was. I knew that would be the easiest thing that they could get with him is marrying his 13-year-old cousin or whatever. And again, he was an adult, so there's all kinds of issues with that you could easily attack. But I gotta look and see how many books Stephen King has written now. But holy cow, he basically he's never stopped, and he just pumps them out, right? All right, so let's see how Poe is going to respond to this. Because again, I think it's setting him up for, it's going to be hard to come back at a lot of the personal stuff because it's so one-sided when it comes to these two guys.
Not even unnerving. Nerving on your first cousin when
Pin the
she's
Pendulum,
13 years
another
old.
one,
Now that's
famous one.
disturbing.
Even you pretended to it, I've been really living through it. Misery and poverty and family woes. I see through you like pantyhose. Do a Chappelle and Simpson cameos. Even if you're gripping on a weapon, then you better get it.
I love those shows. I mean, Simpson and Chappelle show, top 10 comedies for me, like comedy shows for sure. Maybe even higher, probably higher than that. Simpsons is probably my all-time favorite, but Chappelle show is easily my top 10. You know what I like though about this so far is Poe's a better rap. The Poe character and the Poe lines are better rap. Like it's far more technical.
Through you like pantyhose. Do a Chappelle and Simpson cameos. Even if you're gripping on a weapon, then you better get a step in if you're messing with the whore lord. In a minute, maybe I'ma hit him, cut him into itty bitty bits, and I'ma stick him in the floorboard.
Oh, okay. So let's tell her they did that where I'm starting to remember that now. Doesn't he? The character kills somebody, chops him up, buries him under the floor, but the heartbeat is still like it was still loud underneath the floorboards, making that person go crazy. Man, he's going so fast.
In a minute, maybe I'ma hit him, cut him into itty bitty bits, and I'ma stick him in the floorboard.
Speaking of bored, you're the worst. Dropped it at school, but you can't drop a burn.
Oh, he did?
Time better. In 8 bars, I can write a whole bestseller. I'm so prolific, sickly goblin won't be bothering me. I'm on a covering spree, and I'll be smacking you with any of the big thick bars in my big dick bibliography. See, I'm the author with the blood and gore lore galore that'll horrify a reader to the core. Fame, money, talent, success, you'll always have less.
Nevermore. Thus saith the Raven. All right, let's let this sit. But who do you guys think who won? All right, so yeah, battle's over now. There was a lot to go through. I think I chimed in for most of the stuff I learned about. It did make me want to go back to some Edgar Allan Poe stuff. Because to be honest, most of I've heard about the stories is people telling about them, not reading the actual text themselves. And because some of it has some imagery that you see it mimicked in things, short stories, short plays, short films, stuff like that. But I need to go back to the text for sure. Because again, I love the psychological part of that. But anyways, let's get back to the discussion of the rap. Who do you guys think won? Now, here is my immediate thoughts right now. I feel like content-wise, this is going to Stephen King. And it's mostly because of all the quirky personality and history and the character Edgar Allan Poe himself. He's so easy to attack. I mean, from again his what drinking is that they were talking about, and then of course the marriage to his to a 13-year-old, very easy to attack that. And then basically Stephen King was also saying your stuff's not really scary, and I guess it depends on the reader. and stuff like that. And maybe it hasn't aged as well. I have to look at that too. However, I will say though that the Edgar Allan Poe rapping was better. So just from a technical rapping standpoint, the flow and the rhyming that Edgar Allan Poe was doing was better. So again, the disses are probably better for Stephen King, but that's just mostly because of Edgar Allan Poe himself. There's not much you can attack Stephen King for the most part because he stayed fairly tame. They could have gone after his politics or something if they wanted to do that, but like they didn't even do that. But so again, that's what I'm going through. Content wise, I'm thinking it's Stephen King, but as far as the rapping goes, I'm going to go Edgar Allan Poe. Do you think something different? A bunch of those questions I asked about some of the content, let me know. One of the reasons I do this channel is I want to learn more, right? You heard my intro, I want to learn more about history. So if there's other stuff you can add to this, absolutely let me know. Put down in the comments, and again, put down who you think won. And this was awesome. All right, we still got more epic rap battles of history videos to check out, go through. You can see which ones I've done already. And then hopefully I'm going to start revisiting some to try to give more lyrical analysis after having done just a natural first-time reaction like this one was. So there's plenty more. If you've been here for the epic rap battles, there's definitely more coming in the horizon there. Thanks again to the patrons that voted on this video. Thank you guys for that support. I'm doing that, but thank you just for being here, watching the videos, hopefully getting interested in this stuff. And with that, I think we'll call it here, and we'll see you next time. Bye.